This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
freekeene.com.
There's now what seems to be an endless string of arrests, apparent abuses, and apparent success stories pouring out of Keene. We are now moving into the realm of events too numerous for the Ridley Report to wrap itself around. So, I'm going to focus mostly on the parts I have pictures for. You can find the rest at freekeene.com. It started on Saturday, October 17th, with 6 arrests at the Keene Pumpkin Festival. 3 Liberty activists were nabbed for openly smoking marijuana near City Hall. 3 more were seized for walking through the building's open door. One says he was not even given an opportunity to leave before being arrested. But that was just the beginning. As some of these activists went before a judge a couple days later, a 7th activist was arrested for refusing to remove his hood in Keene District Court. His name is Brandon Durham. I believe he was released either the same day or a day later. Next up to face the whip, Ryan Maddox, arrested on roughly October 20th on a charge of obstructing police. Another wild event apparently occurs. Activist Jesse Maloney of Keene claims Sheriff's Department officers ran him over while they were taking the arrestee away. When I called the Cheshire County Sheriff's Department to get a confirmation or a denial, I got a quick return call. Lieutenant Hansen spoke with me, told me that she couldn't make much comment as there was no formal investigation yet underway. She was very personable. She said if a written complaint were filed, an investigation would be something they would be happy to do, and she said it would be taken seriously. She acknowledged that someone named Jesse did contact her by phone to complain by phone. It's possible he'll file a written complaint later. That marks the second alleged assault on a Free Stater in the space of 3 weeks by authorities in Keene. If you don't count the mere arrests where hands were laid upon the activists, and the camera theft of October 2nd. Speaking of October 2nd, Keene activists say they have successfully smuggled video out of Cheshire County Jail, video of the injured Kurt Hoffman. We already have some stills coming out. I don't yet have the video. This is a shot of Hoffman apparently attempting to stand from his wheelchair and not being able to. He's grimacing in pain, they say, as he's trying to stand to see his dog. Meg from Keene, one of the bloggers on freekeene.com, reports that Hoffman is not able to fully control the muscles on one side of his face. He was injured in a scuffle with authorities at Keene District Court shortly after cameras were banned from a room that he was in. Authorities say he injured himself. His wife says he was tackled by a cop while handcuffed. Meanwhile, at least one Free Stater has maintained an appreciation for the legitimate things police do. James Schlesinger of Keene apparently helped to foil a robbery, or at least helped to capture the robber by chasing him down and reporting him to Keene police. Schlesinger was armed at the time, but said he didn't feel a need to draw his firearm. He was featured in at least 2 mainstream media outlets, including New Hampshire's main television station, WMUR. On a side note, when I walked into the State House on October 21st, the guards were talking about it and asked me about it, and we're all excited about it. Apparently, it was reported that he was a Free Stater assisting police in a legitimate manner. This marks the 4th time that a New Hampshire liberty activist has either chased down a burglar or drawn a firearm on a criminal or used a firearm to prevent a crime since 2007. I'm counting only the events that have happened in New Hampshire. I don't know what's happened with Free Staters outside New Hampshire. I guess it's going to be up to the police partly whether they can build on this type of cooperation or whether we just become a competing force of crime fighting. Running us over and giving us neurological damage is probably more likely to turn us into a competing force. And from what I've seen, the police could use a little competition. At least in Keene. Oh, lastly, I don't know if you saw it in my last video about Kurt Hoffman, Superintendent Van Wickler over at the jail, although he has not responded to me, he has responded to one of the other activists and detailed his understanding of Kurt's condition. If the crush of events in Keene is overwhelming the Ridley Report, it's also helping to create even more new media to cover what I can't. Coming up, you'll hear from JC, a porcupine who's been in state for a year. He's spinning up a podcast which will report almost exclusively New Hampshire Liberty news. And there's Jesse here, whose rapid turnaround videography is becoming a staple for the Ridley Report. You can subscribe to him over at youtube.com/USAgriMock. Keene, New Hampshire, the capital of libertarian civil disobedience. The folks over at freekeene.com believe this is the place you should be if you believe in peaceful non-cooperation. freekeene.com invites you to the beautiful hills of western New Hampshire and invites you to join their peaceful evolution. freekeene.com